Have you ever stepped off a long flight feeling like you've aged 5 years? Your back is sore, your legs are stiff, your brain is foggy, and all you want is a real bed and a decent cup of coffee. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. I've taken hundreds of flights over the years, and I've made every mistake in the book. But through trial, error, and a whole lot of turbulence, I've collected real, life-saving travel wisdom that can turn your next long flight from dreadful into downright manageable. Whether you're 25 or 75, flying solo or visiting grandkids across the country, these must-know tips for surviving long-haul flights in 2025 will help you arrive feeling more like yourself and less like a piece of lost luggage. So settle in, grab a cup of tea, and let's get you flight ready. This is TravelVibes, and we're here to make your journey smoother, smarter, and a whole lot more comfortable. Part 1. The Art of Anticipation. How smart flyers prepare before takeoff. You can tell a seasoned traveler not by the stamps in their passport, but by what they do before the plane even leaves the ground. After over 300 flights across 6 continents, I've learned that surviving long-haul flights isn't about enduring discomfort. It's about orchestrating comfort. It starts long before the boarding gate, in the quiet moments of preparation when no one is watching. Now imagine you're packing for a 12-hour flight. You've checked your boarding pass, packed your essentials, but have you packed for your ears? Here's the first insider's secret. Ear pressure can ruin your entire flight if you're not ready for it. For older travelers, especially those with sensitive sinuses or past ear problems, cabin pressure during takeoff isn't just uncomfortable. It can be painful. That's why I always travel with pressure-regulating earplugs, sampak, often called earplanes. These tiny heroes regulate the pressure in your ear canal gradually, protecting your hearing and peace of mind. They cost just a few dollars, but they buy you hours of comfort. But let's say you forgot them. Don't panic. Your body is smarter than you think. Start swallowing hard, chew gum, sip water, or yawn. All of these help open the eustachian tubes and ease the pressure naturally. And while you're preparing, don't forget to layer your clothing wisely. Why? Because your journey begins in a warm terminal, but mid-flight, you'll feel like you've been dropped into the Arctic. The trick? Merino wool base layers. They're breathable, regulate temperature naturally, and are so comfortable you'll forget you're wearing anything at all. Remember, what you wear and how you prepare will decide whether your flight drains you or delights you. Part 2. Comfort is a choice, even in economy class. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I found myself wedged into a middle seat on a 14-hour red-eye to Tokyo. The man in the window seat had legs like tree trunks. The woman on the aisle was fast asleep before we even left the gate. And me? I was somewhere in between, with my knees pressed against a tray table and a stiff neck threatening rebellion. That flight taught me a golden rule. You can't change your seat, but you can change how you use it. Most travelers don't realize that economy seats have secret features, little hidden gems that airlines never bother to point out. For example, did you know many aisle and middle seats have a tiny button underneath the armrest? Press it, and the armrest lifts completely, giving you room to stretch out, especially handy if the seat next to you is empty, or if you're traveling with someone you're comfortable snuggling up to. Next, that flimsy pillow they toss at you? Don't use it for your head. Tuck it behind your lower back. Trust me, your spine will thank you. It supports your lumbar curve and helps reduce that dull ache that creeps up your back after hours of sitting like a sardine. Now for the neck. If your seat has an adjustable headrest, many do, bend the sides inward to cradle your head. It's like a soft hug for your skull. No headrest? No problem. Flip your neck pillow around. Yes, wear it backward. The opening in front supports your chin and keeps your head from flopping forward like a nodding puppet. These little comfort hacks turn a cramped chair into a cozy cocoon. For older travelers, they're not just luxuries, they're lifelines. And the biggest lesson I learned from that Tokyo flight? Never underestimate the power of tiny adjustments. They're the difference between arriving exhausted or arriving ready for adventure. Part 3. Dress for altitude, mastering the mid-flight temperature game. Have you ever noticed how a plane seems to have a split personality? One moment, you're peeling off layers, fanning yourself with the safety card like you're in a desert sauna. 2 hours later, you're shivering under a napkin-thin blanket, wondering if hypothermia is a legitimate concern at 35,000 feet. That's why what you wear on a long-haul flight can make or break your entire journey. Seasoned flyers, especially older ones who may be more sensitive to temperature swings, swear by the art of layering. And the king of all materials? Merino wool. Unlike bulky sweaters or scratchy synthetics, merino is breathable, soft, and magically temperature regulating. It keeps you cool when you're hot and warm when you're cold. I always pack a merino hoodie and lightweight scarf, both stylish and functional. The scarf doubles as a blanket, pillow, or even a makeshift privacy screen. But here's a fresh tip. Don't rely on the airline's blanket. Not only is it often barely thick enough to cover your knees, but it's also been used by countless passengers before you. Instead, pack a travel-sized microfiber blanket in your carry-on. They're light, compact, and far more reliable than whatever the flight attendant hands you. Oh, and socks. Not just any socks, but compression socks. Long flights restrict circulation, especially for older adults. These special socks gently squeeze your calves, improving blood flow and reducing swelling in your feet and ankles. You'll step off the plane feeling energized, not balloon-footed. Comfort starts with clothing. Don't dress for the airport, dress for the sky. Part 4, Power Up, How to Keep Devices Alive Above the Clouds. Let me paint you a picture. You're cruising over the Pacific. The cabin lights are dimmed. The baby 2 rows ahead has finally stopped crying. You reach for your tablet, ready to binge that show you've been saving, and then, nothing. The screen's black. Battery dead. And your charger? Useless, because the outlet under your seat is mysteriously not working. It's a scene I've watched unfold dozens of times. That's why every experienced traveler knows, you never rely on airplane power. You prepare your own. Before every flight, I fully charge every device. But that's just step 1. I also bring a portable power bank, the kind approved for air travel, under 100 watt-hours. But here's something many don't know. Not all airlines allow all brands anymore. Some have cracked down on lithium batteries due to fire risks. So before you fly, check your airline's rules, especially for newer regulations in 2025. And don't forget, outlets in economy are shared. In a row of 3 seats, there may only be 2 plugs, usually tucked down near your ankles, which makes them easy to miss or fight over. Now for the real pro move. Bring a dual USBA and USBC adapter. Most planes still use old-school USBA. If you only packed USB-C cables, you're out of luck, unless you planned ahead. But wait, we're not done. Add this to your checklist, a universal travel adapter. Even though you're flying, not checking into a hotel yet, this little gadget ensures you can charge your gear during layovers in any country. It's your backup plan when everything else fails. In today's digital age, a dead phone is more than an inconvenience. It's a lost boarding pass, a missed hotel confirmation, or a long flight with zero entertainment. Power is peace of mind. And smart travelers never board without a backup. Part 5, Eat, Sip, Survive, Smart in-flight nutrition hacks you'll wish you knew sooner. You'd think after decades of air travel I'd stop being surprised by airplane food. But every time I lift that foil lid, I still half expect a gourmet surprise. Only to find lukewarm mystery meat swimming in gravy beside limp vegetables. That's why I stopped relying on airline meals and started packing smarter. Here's my favorite hack, one that flight attendants quietly do themselves. Bring a wide-mouth thermos. Unlike your standard water bottle, a thermos unlocks a world of mid-air meals. Most international flights provide hot water on request, even if they don't advertise it. Simply walk to the galley or politely ask a flight attendant, and voila, hot hydration delivered. Now here's where the magic happens. Pack instant oatmeal packets, miso soup, or even cup noodles. Add hot water, stir, and in minutes, you've got a comforting, warm meal that doesn't taste like cardboard. For older travelers with dietary restrictions or sensitive stomachs, this is a game changer. You control the ingredients. You skip the sodium bomb meals. And best of all, you eat when you're hungry, not just when the trolley rolls by. Want to elevate this further? Bring a few herbal tea bags and some electrolyte drink mix. The dry cabin air dehydrates you quickly, which can leave you foggy, fatigued, and prone to headaches. Electrolyte tea is like a mini spa for your insides. It warms you up, hydrates your cells, and helps you feel human again. And if you're worried about carrying all this, don't be. Everything fits neatly into a Ziploc in your personal bag. Zero mess, maximum comfort. In the skies, hydration and nutrition are no longer just health advice. They're survival skills. Part 6, the entertainment trick that turns dread into delight. Let's be honest. Most people treat long flights like a waiting room for real life. We slump into our seats, brace for boredom, and hope for sleep. But what if I told you there's a way to make that 10-hour flight feel like a personal retreat? Let me introduce you to the flight ritual rule. It's simple. Choose a piece of entertainment, but don't touch it until you're airborne. Think of it like opening a gift. It could be a new season of your favorite series, a long-awaited audiobook, or that movie everyone's been talking about. Download it before you board. Then let it sit. Let the anticipation build. On board, when you finally press play, magic. The hum of the engines fades, the cramped seat disappears. You're fully immersed, and suddenly, the flight is something to look forward to. I once saved the entire final season of Downton Abbey for a flight to London. For 10 hours, I was in another world, sipping tea in my mind while sipping ginger ale in row 24C. It made the journey not just tolerable, but oddly joyful. Bonus tip, pack noise-canceling headphones or good quality earbuds. And don't rely on the in-flight entertainment. It's hit or miss, and those plastic headphones they hand out, best used as a clothesline. And here's something most people forget. Download your content, then test it offline before your trip. There's nothing worse than boarding, hitting play, and getting an error. By turning your flight into a mini personal retreat, you're not just passing time, you're reclaiming it. Because let's face it, the sky is much friendlier when you're flying through it with a story you love. Part 7, hidden tricks flight attendants use, and you can too. It took me years to learn that some of the best long-haul survival hacks don't come from travel blogs or luxury lounges. They come from flight attendants quietly working the aisles. These seasoned flyers know what works, and more importantly, what doesn't. So I started observing and asking. Here's what I learned. The moment the seatbelt sign goes off, I pull my personal item out from under the seat and slide it behind my calves. It gives me just enough extra foot room to stretch out without breaking any rules. But remember, for takeoff and landing, always return it to its original position. It's not just a rule, it's safety. Next, let's talk seatbelts and sleep. If you're lucky enough to catch some shut-eye, there's one sure way to stay asleep. Buckle your seatbelt over your blanket. That way, if turbulence hits, flight attendants won't have to wake you to check if you're strapped in. You'll thank me at hour 6 when you're still snoozing peacefully. And for in-flight phone watching, don't splurge on a phone stand. Just use your sunglasses, fold them, and rest your phone against them on the tray table. Or better yet, slide the air sickness bag between your phone and its case, then hang the whole setup from the closed tray latch. Voila! Hands-free streaming. Oh, and headphone tip. Many newer planes now support Bluetooth audio. Look up your aircraft model on Seat Guru to check. If not, bring your own wired headphones or a Bluetooth transmitter that plugs into the seat jack. It's a small item that makes a huge difference in audio quality and sanity. These aren't gimmicks. They're real-world solutions used by people who spend more time in the air than on land. Now they're yours too. Part 8, Outsmart jet lag. Sync your body before you land. The wheels touch down. You're in Paris or Tokyo or New York, but your body, it still thinks it's midnight in Phoenix. Jet lag hits harder the older we get. Recovery takes longer, sleep is harder to regulate, and that brain fog, it's no joke. But here's the good news. Jet lag is beatable if you prepare mid-flight. The key, start shifting your internal clock the moment you board. Don't wait until you land to adjust. Begin by changing your watch to your destination's time as soon as you're in your seat. Start eating, sleeping, and moving based on where you're going, not where you left. If it's nighttime in your destination, close your eyes, even if you're wide awake. Use an eye mask, noise-canceling headphones, and a calming playlist. I swear by guided meditation apps like Insight Timer or Calm, they've helped me fall asleep mid-flight when nothing else worked. Likewise, if it's daytime where you're headed, avoid sleeping, even if your body is crying for it. Drink water, move around, and resist the urge to nap. Light exposure is a powerful regulator of circadian rhythms, so pull up that window shade and soak in some daylight. Even artificial cabin light helps. And here's an extra tip for older travelers. Skip alcohol and caffeine entirely. Both disrupt your natural body rhythm and make it harder to adjust on arrival. Instead, sip herbal tea, hydrate like it's your job, and move your body every couple of hours. Flying across time zones doesn't have to leave you wiped out for days. With intention and a bit of discipline, you can arrive feeling present, refreshed, and ready to explore. Part 9. The Essentials Kit: Tiny Items That Make a Huge Difference. If there's one truth every frequent flyer eventually learns, it's this: comfort lives in the little things. After too many flights of dry skin, stale breath, and sore joints, I finally built what I now call my in-flight survival kit. A small pouch of items that transforms even the most uncomfortable journey into something, well, almost luxurious. Let's unpack it. First, lip balm and moisturizer. Cabin air is drier than the Sahara. Your skin and lips will thank you for a quick hydration touch-up mid-flight. Next up, floss picks. I know it sounds simple, but after a long flight meal or one of your own oatmeal thermos creations, being able to freshen your mouth without a full bathroom trip is a hidden joy. Don't forget a quality sleep mask. Not those flimsy airline giveaways, but one that's contoured, soft, and fully blocks light. Combine it with noise-reducing earbuds or foam earplugs, and suddenly you're in your own peaceful bubble, even in the middle seat. I also include disinfecting wipes, because those tray tables and seatbelt buckles, let's just say they're not cleaned as often as you'd hope. Here's a surprise item: a tennis ball or massage roller. Tuck it under your thigh or behind your back and gently roll it while seated. It eases muscle stiffness and improves circulation, especially important for older travelers. Last, but absolutely not least, a spare pair of underwear and a panty liner or adult wipe. After a long flight, or two connecting ones, you'll feel 100% fresher just from this tiny change. None of these items take up much room, but together, they're the secret to feeling more like a traveler and less like a crumpled bag of laundry. Part 10. Seating Strategy: How to Choose the Best Spot on the Plane. A long flight doesn't start at boarding. It starts the moment you choose your seat. Pick the right one, and the hours glide by. Choose poorly, and you're elbow to elbow with a snorer, a kicking toddler, or, worse, a lavatory line just inches from your face. So let's talk strategy. If you value peace and quiet, aim for seats away from the galley and bathrooms, typically in the middle of the cabin. Those areas might be convenient, but they're also noisy, high-traffic zones where the lights stay on and people hover. If you need to stretch often or make frequent bathroom trips, especially important for older adults, an aisle seat is your friend. You get mobility without climbing over sleeping strangers. Want more legroom without paying for premium? Look for exit rows, but do check whether the seat reclines. Some don't. Also note, you'll need to stow all items during takeoff and landing. Now, here's a little-known gem. Some airlines still allow you to view your flight's seat map and change seats for free within 24 hours of takeoff. I've scored empty rows just by checking back the day before. If the plane isn't full, move quickly and grab that golden space. Flying with a companion? Book the window and aisle, leaving the middle empty. If the flight isn't full, chances are no one will choose it. If someone does, just ask to switch. You'll likely end up sitting together anyway. For overnight flights, choose the left side of the plane. Those seats often face away from the sunrise and can stay darker longer. Smart seating is part science, part luck. But the more flights you take, the more you realize where you sit shapes your entire experience. Part 11. Mind over mileage, your mental toolkit for long flights. There's something quietly overwhelming about being 35,000 feet in the air for 10, 12, even 15 hours. The hum of the engines, the strangers packed close, the slow crawl of time. It can leave even the most seasoned traveler feeling stuck. That's why every long-haul survivor needs more than snacks and socks. You need a mindset strategy. Step 1. Reframe the flight. Instead of seeing it as wasted time, treat it as sacred time, a pause from the noise of daily life. It's one of the last few places on Earth where no one expects you to answer texts, return emails, or multitask. You're off the grid. Use it. Start with a simple meditation. You don't need to be a yogi, just close your eyes, breathe deeply, and count each breath to 10. Repeat. Let the roar of the plane become your white noise. It calms your heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and eases anxiety, especially if you're a nervous flyer. Journaling also helps. I keep a small notebook in my seat pocket and jot down thoughts, gratitude lists, trip intentions, memories I want to preserve. There's something grounding about putting pen to paper in the sky. Feeling fidgety? Use mental games. Name countries that start with each letter of the alphabet. Try remembering every trip you've ever taken, or plan your perfect meal from appetizer to dessert. These aren't distractions. They're tools. When you take control of your mindset, the flight stops happening to you and starts happening for you. A calm mind is the greatest luxury in economy class. Part 12. Land like a pro. Final steps for a strong finish. As the captain announces descent, the cabin lights flicker back on, and the flight crew begins their final walkthrough. There's always a shift in energy, people waking, stretching, brushing hair, finding shoes. But the smart traveler doesn't wait until landing to prepare. Here's how I finish strong. First, I repack strategically 30 minutes before touchdown. I tuck away snacks, trash, extra layers, and reorganize my personal bag so essentials are easy to reach. It saves the scramble when you need to deplane fast. I also take a moment to hydrate, stretch, and freshen up. A splash of water on the face, yes, even from a tiny water bottle, a dab of moisturizer, and a peppermint lozenge instantly reset your body and confidence. You feel less like a travel zombie, more like your vibrant self. For those with connecting flights, I recommend downloading your airline's app and checking your next gate before you land. Things can change midair, and knowledge is power when navigating tight layovers. And finally, I close my journal and write one short reflection. It might be a memory from the flight, a note of gratitude, or even a silly moment I want to remember. Because here's the secret no one tells you. A long flight isn't just a journey across time zones, it's a journey inside yourself. You started in one country, one mindset, one rhythm. You'll land in another, with new surroundings, new light, and a chance to begin again. So whether you're 30 or 70, traveling for work, leisure, or rediscovery, these tips aren't just about surviving a long flight, they're about arriving whole, awake, and ready. Welcome to your destination, and there you have it. 12 practical, proven, and often surprising tips that seasoned travelers and even flight attendants use to survive long flights in 2025. But more than just comfort hacks, these ideas are about taking back control of your time in the air. About arriving not just at a new destination, but in a better mindset, better mood, and better physical shape. Because here on TravelVibes, we believe that travel should lift you up, not wear you down. So whether you're jetting off to see family, explore somewhere new, or finally take that dream vacation, you now have the tools to do it smarter, safer, and a little more joyfully. Until next time, travel light, travel well, and keep the good vibes going.